Hey, welcome to my channel. Um, Honestly, I'm at a loss. The Giants, I wanted them to have the number one draft pick. This is the one time where you want them to lose badly, and yet they win. It's it made no sense. It makes no sense, honestly, because let's be honest, the Giants having the number one draft pick, they could have used that to leverage off and get some future round draft picks and get more draft capital as a result. Why? Why? Because Dart's going to be your starting quarterback, so you don't need to basically draft your starting quarterback. Is there an offensive lineman that's going to come out of this draft class that's going to be really great? That's worth the number one pick? No. Is there a defensive tackle or edge rusher or safety or secondary that's worth as a number one draft pick? No. Reality is you're going to be saving that for either running back or a quarterback, most likely a quarterback. And in this situation, we already have our quarterback. We sort of have a running back, I guess, with Scadaboo. We just need, and we already have our wide receiver with Neighbors. I mean, all we need is basically another wide receiver that is decent enough, but we can get that in the late rounds, basically at that point, or probably even a second rounder. But reality is like this could have been good for the Giants if they had lost the game against the Raiders, but they chose not to. They decided to win. It's like, hey, we need to like win the last two games, at least in the next three games or next two games, and show that we have a lot of promise. We already know that what the what the future holds, and there's a lot of promise with them. The question is like when it comes to the defense, Lawrence is great. Burns, phenomenal, honestly, and like it's a case where like you hoping that Burns stays with the team, and like he does repeats what he's done this year. Thibodeau, I don't know what to say about him, basically, quite honestly. And then the fact of the matter is Deontay Banks. I mean, like, oh, whoop de doo, he returns a freaking um, what's that called? He returns an interception. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to. But reality is like again, yeah. I mean, we might have to rebuild our re- definitely rebuild our secondary a little bit more. Basically, I mean, granted, yeah, a few of them were injured, but I mean, but that's only there from that perspective. And then the other aspect is like um, who else? Uh, I mean, Carter. I don't know if he's a bust or not. Time will only tell, but it seems like he is a bust, and that's the sad part about it. But maybe he comes back next year and does really well next year. I mean, we'll see what happens there. But again, I wish the Giants had the number one draft pick. They could have used that as draft capital, basically, to trade back, and or trade for the like what the Bears did, basically, rather than trading, using that number one pick. They basically traded back and then used that number one pick to trade to the Carolina Panthers, and that's how they were able to get Caleb Williams. It's great. If the Giants could do that again, that would be the Giants could do that. That'd be great. More so to the point like probably next year or the following year, basically for the number one draft pick for a team that is most likely not going to get probably going to be there. Maybe the Jets probably makes sense with the Jets, quite honestly, or um, I don't want to say the Panthers now, but the Titans. Those are the two, as well as the Raiders. Those well, I don't want to say the Raiders just yet because the Raiders have a pretty decently good team at this point as well too. So it's just the coaching has to change at that point and adjust. I mean, we saw what happened basically. Like, look at the Patriots. Vrabel comes in, Coach Mustachio, Coach Vrabel comes in. He basically changes the team dramatically in one season, basically to the point where like this is a team last year wasn't doing so well. This year they're the number one pick, basically. They're the number one seed. I mean, sorry, the number one seed, which is a big surprise. And then the other aspect is I don't want to say the Bills, but Seattle. I mean, honestly, again, Seattle 13-3. It's like pretty impressive with Sam Darnold. So like that's impressive in and of itself at that point as well too. No one thought the Seattle Seahawks were going to be the number one seed with the NFC at that point as well too. And as well as let's be honest, the Denver Broncos. I don't think anyone foresaw that the Broncos were going to be this good at this point as well too. Um, so it's it's a mix here, but a coach here or there can change a team dramatically. Like Sean Payton. I mean, it would have been great if the Giants brought Sean Payton in, but you know, I mean, it was never going to work. I mean, I don't want to say it was never going to work, but it just didn't happen, unfortunately. Um, I'll say this much to say the least is I'm surprised, and the Bears. Sorry, the Bears as well too. Like with Ben Johnson, look what he did with the Bears. I mean, honestly, no one thought the Bears were going to be this good. They're a team to be reckoned with now. Now I think it's coming down to. I was thinking basically on the NFC side, it was going to be the Rams all the way. The Rams between the Rams and the Lions. The Lions have disappointed considerably. And I always thought it was going to be the Rams and Eagles at that point as well too. Now looking based on the fact that how the Rams just played against the Atlanta Falcons, they're in a downspin now at this point. I don't know what Sean McVay has to do, but he's gonna have to do something to get them out of it because they're still can be a dominant team, and um, Stafford can still lead them. It's just can they get out of this funk? And the other aspect is the Eagles. Hey, they beat the Bills, but then again, this is a Bills team that pretty much has issues here and there at that point. Quite honestly, so like it's one of those things where the Bills are on and off depending what happens. So the fact that the Eagles were able to beat the Bills by a point or two as a low scoring game, I don't know if that really works towards the Eagles' favor. But the Bears, the way they're, I mean, let's be honest, the Bears, the fact that they were able to keep it that close and they were like pretty much a touchdown away from, I mean, literally a catch away from beating the 49ers. Um, but the 49ers are definitely a team to beat as well, too. Let's see, they're a force to be reckoned with. I'm surprised what Shanahan has done with the 49ers. That's a massive improvement, like what he's done basically with the lack of players that he has. Similar to the fact is like the Houston Texans. I think they're the team that's going to be the one that you got to worry about. I mean, granted, you definitely have the the Patriots, of course. The Patriots are definitely the team to beat at this one, I think, because I was always thinking maybe the Bills or possibly even the Broncos, but I think Knicks is going to crumble. I'm pretty sure the Seattle Seahawks, they're not going to be a team to beat. They're going to be easy. They're going to be rollovers because let's be honest, Seattle with what's his name, uh, Sam Darnold. I think Darnold's going to fold under pressure again in the playoffs, and it's going to be no, well, no, like he's good in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's going to fold at that point. Same thing. I mean, it's sad to see what the Colts have, what's happened with the Colts, but honestly, I was expecting this to happen because, like, like this is going to be it, and like next year, you're going to see what happens with Danny Dimes. Again, he's not going to be Danny Dimes, and Indianapolis. Oh my God, we need another quarterback, basically at that point. But hey, it is what it is. Um, it would have been great if the Giants could have traded Daniel Jones for a draft pick, but it happened. Unfortunately, it is what it is at that point. Um, but the Bills, they are a threat. They are a threat. They will be a threat. Will the Packers be a threat? I don't think so because the fact that lack of Micah Parsons not being there definitely affects their run defense. And at that point, I think the Packers. I don't think they get out of the first round. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but I don't think they get out. Um, and the Panther, depending on who wins between the Panthers and Bucks, if it's the Bucks that clinches, they're going to be pushovers at that point as well, too. Quite honestly, and if the Rams can claim the fifth seed, they'll be able to beat the Panthers and or Bucks. Um, but again, it all depends, like how the 49ers play against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks they already have they want to clinch if they want to clinch the top seed. They have to beat the 49ers. The 49ers, if they beat the Seahawks, they have the top seed at that point. And then the Seahawks go to play the Panthers and or Bucks. And if that's the case, look for them to go ahead, basically. Because unless the Panthers and or Bucks play the Seahawks, they're not going to get past the first round as well, too. Uh, but outside of that, yeah. Again, I'm a little pissed off that the Giants did not lose this game. I wanted them to have the number one draft pick. Can they get the number one draft pick? No, because now even if Las Vegas wins and the Giants lose, Las Vegas still gets the number one draft pick. And the fortunate part is even if the Giants lose, if the Jets lose as well as the Tennessee Titans lose, I think the Giants go from the number one pick down to now I think the fifth pick, which pissed me off even more. I'm like, we had the fifth pick, and what are we going to get out of it now? We're not going to get anything out of it at that point. And like, I don't know if that's draft capital. We can, we could trade that and get more draft capital as a result. It'd be great, but I doubt it. Um, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. What do you guys think? Like, should the Giants have won that game against the Raiders, or should they have tanked the rest of the season? Basically, I think they should have just tanked. Honestly, granted, there's no one that's coming out of this draft class that I think is going to be worthwhile. That Indiana Hoosiers quarterback, I don't think he's going to be worthwhile. I forgot his name now, Mendoza or something like that, whatever it is. I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback in the draft class. Honestly, I don't think he's a draft class worthy quarterback. Might be a good backup QB, but I don't think he's a number one draft pick or even a first rounder. Quite honestly, um, I don't know. With that, I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I do read them all. I do respond to them when they want a response. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, of course, always unrehearsed. Until next time.